Today I want to talk about these cameras. So this is the Sony A7 IV, and I've had this camera since it was launched. In fact, I pre-ordered it, and this is a long time review. I haven't used it in variety of situation, and it's my daily driver when it comes to camera. I use it for photos, I use it for video because it's an hybrid camera, and I've used it in different situations. I've used it for weddings, videography, I've used it for wedding photography, I've used it for corporate interviews, I've used it for talking head like this, I've used it to create content. I just use it to create a lot of content on my reels as well, on my TikTok. So I've used this camera in the last 2 years a lot, and I feel I can share my own personal things that I love about this camera and things that I feel can be improved upon. And if you're out there thinking of buying a camera like this, maybe you're looking for a hybrid camera, I will share my opinion on this camera today, and I hope that will help you in your purchasing decision. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I appreciate about this camera is the image quality and the pixel. So it's a 30 megapixel camera, which is a sweet spot for me. The image that comes out of this camera, they're beautiful, they look beautiful. Not only that, you also have details in those images, and also if you are cropping or trying to blow up your image, you have more wiggle room. It's just a good thing. It's a sweet spot, the 33 megapixel. So that's one thing I love about this camera. That takes me to the next thing, which is the codecs and the bitrate and frame rate on this camera. In terms of video, now you can shoot in 4:2 to 10-bit. What that does for you is that it gives you more flexibility in terms of color grading and pushing your image. You get better colors, vibrant, vivid. I mean, it's beautiful, and you know that when you're editing in post-production, you're not getting color banding, so you're getting a richer color as well. So for me, also the second thing is the ability in terms, I'm still on the same topic, but it still allows you to be able to not only get good colors, but also the dynamic range on this camera. You have good dynamic range both for photos and videos. So in case you blow out your highlight a little bit or your shadows is a bit dark, you can recover them. You know, it's got 14 stops of dynamic range. You can recover them without introducing noise. You still have clean images. I mean, I've done it a lot of times where maybe I my highlight was too much or my shadows. I just have this confidence that I'm not going to have issues. Although, I mean, you should not overblow your pictures that it will not be that you won't be able to recover it at all. But at least if sometimes you just the highlight is too much or the shadows are too dark, you are confident that this is going to bring out still clean images for you. Now, the third thing that I love about this camera is the ability to stream, using this camera to stream on my computer. So, and also you can connect your mic to this camera and use it as your mic when you're streaming. So I don't need to buy a third-party dongle or anything like that. I just use this camera. I connect my lens to it, and I just use a single USB cord from this camera to a Type A to the computer, and it will just give you that prompt that do you want to stream with the USB, and you click, and there you're done. So you can use it with Zoom, with Teams, whatever platform you want to use it for. It's just wonderful and ideal, and you'll be able to get more quality images from this camera. Although the pictures are capped at, I think, 1080p, because the 4K there is 15p, which is not really usable. So at least 1080p, I've seen it, I've used it. It's just good enough, at least for what you get on the computer as well. The fourth thing that I love about this camera is this switch dial right here. So I'm just going to show you guys. So this is a dial here. So this dial here right here allow you to switch it from photos to video right. This dial will allow you to change it. So for me, it's just another thing that I love so much. You can just switch within seconds from photos to video. Because I do a lot of hybrid where I'll be doing photo shoot and I'm just taking photos and I just want to do some B-rolls. I change to the video. Now, previously, what we used to experience is that when you change from photo to video like that, all your settings changes. Like it retains most of the photos settings, and you now need to start adjusting things manually. And imagine sometimes you are doing a photo shoot for someone and the person is already getting tired or they have little time, but you want to get some B-rolls, and having to be doing that and wasting time, it's just long. So the ability to just switch And that takes me to the next thing, which means this custom 1 2 3 up here, so you guys can see it right there. Allow you to store your settings, so you can just store your setting up so that if you are doing anything like video or photography, you already have them stored up, so you can just switch to them. Custom one could be a setting for you shooting a talking head like this. Custom 2 can be for if you're shooting probably wedding, or and custom 3 could be something for a slow motion, and you just switch with a button and you're there. And also for photos, you have another option for 3, so you can do one for like portrait, one for maybe outdoor and portrait as well, and one for sport. And you just have those settings, so when you're in those conditions, you just switch with a button and you're there. And for me, that is game changing, and I love that feature a lot. The next thing is this right here, this cold shoe mount. This cold shoe mount is electronic, so allow you to connect the Sony K3M. They have a proprietary mic that you can connect to it, and then it allows you to get quality audios inside your camera. And for me, that's game changing as well, because if you want to get good quality audio, you probably need to record your audio separately and then sync them in post, which is an additional work. But this goes straight into your camera, goes into your video. You don't need to sync anything, and I love it so much, and I use it every now and then. For me, it's a big deal, and I love that. The next thing is the focus breathing compensation, and what that means is that traditionally some lenses, especially the full frame, they breathe when you are currently, when I'm doing a talking head like this and I'm showing you product. Now the lens breathing compensation is on right now, so if I kind of move my camera close to this and I move it back, it will seamlessly, there will not be distraction, and everything will be work seamlessly. But if it's off and you have focus breathing on the lens, because a lot of lenses, they have those focus breathing issue, you can see that the edges will be moving, it will be distracting and all that. But in this case, it will not do the same. It will not do that because I have the focus breathing compensation on, and it's just a lifesaver. And for me, it's another feature that I love so much. The last thing that I will highlight about this camera is what everybody rave about, which is the flip screen. Now I use the flip screen a lot, and it allows me to be able to film myself. Like right now I'm filming myself, I can see myself through the flip screen. I can also see, although I'm using a monitor, but if you're out there and you want to film yourself, you can see what you're doing, you can see what's going on and all that. For me, that is also important. So there are other things that is very good about, but these are the things that I will highlight as things that I use that is very, very useful to my workflow. And so that's why I highlighted those things. Now, few things I think I improved upon. The 4K 60 obviously is a crop, and a lot of people have argued that, obviously, and I'm in support of that. I think it should not be crop and all that. But for me, it has not been an issue, because when I realized I was going to buy this camera, what I did was I planned to buy the Sony 14 f1.8. So that's a very wide lens. So anytime I'm shooting in 4K 60 on this camera, I just throw that lens on. Or I use my 25 if it's if it's enough. If it's not enough, then I go to my 14. My 14 is way more than enough for anything I need it for. However, it shouldn't be cropped. So the next version we're hoping that it should be full and not a crop one. I think that's the only major thing that I will say is a big deal on this camera. The second thing I would say, probably sometimes it overheat, but it has not really overheat on me, but it was when I was streaming. However, I found a way around it. Obviously, you just need to turn your USB power supply off, or you can use a dongle, and then you bypass that, and you'll be fine. It will not be overheating. So generally, I think that's one area that I think can be improved upon. But overall, I've enjoyed using this camera. I love this camera a lot, and I use it as my daily driver for every single thing. So I highly recommend this camera if you are intending to pick one up. Now, if you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button, and until my next one, I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.